What's goody, YouTube? It's your boy Black Uchiha 3 long face, skinny body, and we back with some more fire anime content. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, share the video with your friends. Leave a comment below by the end of the video. Let me know what you think about the content. Let me know if you have any other ideas or just any other thoughts on whatever we talking about. And we finna get right into the business, bro.
Solemnly swear, from this moment forward, that I will never lose again. Until the day comes, I will never be defeated.
My guy Mitsuki has so many interesting things just going on about him. And you already know, bro, during the time when it was Team 7 versus Boro, for that solid 3 months that entire fight took place, right? I was really on the whole wave that by the end of this fight, there's going to be like Mitsuki's going to have to take a transformation and he's going to have to save everybody's ass. Now, I was right and I was wrong because it actually ended up being Boruto turning into Momoshiki. Who the fuck knew that shit was going to go down? But even still, way before all of that, I'm screaming, yo, my nigga Mitsuki's going to have to use Sage Mode and really whip this shit out in front of everybody's face. And they're going to have to finally understand that he's really with this shit. Now, I've done enough talking about when I think Mitsuki is going to finally unleash his Sage Mode and who I think he's going to use it on, or when will Boruto or the rest of Team 7 eventually find out about it, because we know this is some top-notch secret shit. And there's a whole lot to Mitsuki's background and history that a lot of people don't necessarily understand, or for the most part, a lot of people just overlook, and it easily goes over our heads, right? The thing is, yeah, this nigga Mitsuki got a cold-ass Sage Mode, but there's a couple things I want to point out. And it's obvious, like, one, first of all, it's a Sage Mode that we've never seen before. Now, I know we haven't seen that many Snake Sages in the entire Naruto show. We're only used to seeing most of the Toad Sages and, like, the requirements and processes for all of that stuff. But just going back, let's look over everything that we know so far for about the Snake Sage, right? I'm not going into too much details, but look at this nigga, Kabuto. All right, so when he activates his Sage Mode, his whole body goes scaly and it looks like a snake and shit right ever. This nigga got some weird ass little fucking snake horns going on the side of each of his heads. And it's like, all right, that shit looked kind of wicked, but it wasn't something to the point where I saw it, I thought out of the ordinary about it. And that could be justifiable due to the fact that once Kabuto's Sage Mode was revealed, we really weren't even aware of the OTSUSUKI clan and all of these abilities and all of this extra chakra information. So there can be that. But even after coming to that realization, I still look at Kabuto's Sage Mode like it's just a regular another Sage Mode, in a sense similar to how when Jiraiya activated Sage Mode, this nigga had Toad features all across his body and shit like that. So that's why I look at it. Activate Sage Mode, you have to have the focus, intensity, and the chakra control in order to, you know, perfectly balance your chakra with the nature's energy. And this nigga Mitsuki in Academy, he was able to perfectly do that. Now we know my guy Orochimaru learned Sage Mode, but he was never able to enter into the Sage transformation due to all of the crazy ass requirements, meaning complete focus, complete one with the nature energy, and having the intensive, massive chakra reserves to withhold being in the Sage transformation. Now, this nigga Mitsuki is a synthetic created human being. And I'm here to say that, bro, I'm not going to be surprised, but because this is justifiable. But like, yo, I'm not even sure. I'm positive. I'm not even the first person to say this. Just base Mitsuki. This nigga looks like an OTSUSUKI clan member, right? Y'all already see where I'm going with this. Y'all already know where I'm going with this. He looks like a fucking OTSUSUKI clan member. Now, going into his genetics, he's basically a clone of Orochimaru, and then he has some of the embryo from the older Mitsuki, and then he was raised in the test tube with all of the fluids, and then Orochimaru added all of the other genetics. Now, Mitsuki himself was given the ability not only to stretch his limbs, all of that shit. He has wind release jutsus. He's very intelligent, and strengths that Mitsuki has isn't something that Orochimaru gave to him. He literally gave Mitsuki, yes, all of the powers and all of the fucking physical capabilities, but this nigga Mitsuki was actually taught everything, damn near everything about the shinobi world from Orochimaru himself. He learned a lot of shit from Orochimaru before he left. So when Naruto initially accepted Mitsuki into the Hidden Leaf Village, he only let a handful of people know that it was actually Orochimaru's son, and then going into even deeper detail that is literally just a clone of Orochimaru. Now, when most people in the shinobi world hear that shit, they're gonna start flipping shits because they think Orochimaru, they think, like, fuck no, bro, this nigga's not gonna be putting his tongue and saliva all over all of this other creepy shit. Like, nah, bro, send that nigga kid back to his pops, bro. Ain't no neglecting parents over here, like, they was not with that wave. And then we even get to see in the anime when Tsunade found out, she flipped shits. She was like, bro, my nigga Naruto, like, really. And it's crazy because Tsunade really looked at Orochimaru as a brother too. So she was like, yo, are you serious, bro? You let this nigga son in my village, bro? Like, chill out, Tsunade. Yeah, he did, but he got this shit under control, right? Now, Orochimaru has huge plans for this nigga Mitsuki, and it's easily overlooked into Boruto's story. And I'm like so baffled by the mere fact that, like, bro, there's so much more to this nigga Mitsuki that we don't realize, right? The special ass sage mode that I already talked about, we get to see this nigga is covered in a chakra cloak. First of all, we didn't see chakra cloaks until this nigga Naruto finally was able to master the Kyuubi mode, other than him going on rampages, and we get to see the Nine Tails chakra taking over. Any instances where we see chakra cloaks in the Naruto verse, this nigga Mitsuki enters into a sage mode and he automatically gets a chakra cloak. We have never, now we get to see Jiraiya enter it. We see Naruto enter it, and it's emphasized of how perfect Naruto was able to balance his sage mode, right? So if anything, a perfect one should have that shit. And we get to see Kabuto enter it. None of these niggas have chakra cloaks, right? And not only that, none of these niggas transformation is kind of like similar to how we get to see Mitsuki's. Now, comparing Naruto and Jiraiya, they both have the toad slit eyeballs, right? Now, obviously, this nigga Jiraiya differentiates. His nose grows. He gets the fucking toad boils all over his face, and he becomes a little bit more puffier, you know what I'm saying? A little bit more like a frog in his fingers and limbs and all of that shit. Rather than Naruto, he just gets the fucking, the color markings on his eye and his eyeballs. His pupils change with the slits. With this nigga Kabuto, we get to see his skin scale change, so it's kind of like, he's like, a little bit better than Jiraiya at mastering it, but just not as good as Naruto at becoming completely perfect where your body doesn't need to be altered. This nigga Mitsuki body does not alter at all. He doesn't grow any snake scales on his skin or any of that shit. His skin is smooth like a baby's bosoms, right? And not only that, this nigga grows a horn right through the middle of his fucking head. That's just like on some weird, like, what the hell is going on? Now, we know that this nigga Orochimaru gave this nigga the Sage Jutsu, but, like, I don't understand what type of Sage Jutsu this is. And I understand Orochimaru's notorious fucking reputation, but everybody is already aware that Naruto has this nigga under constant surveillance. So the mere fact of Mitsuki being Orochimaru's child isn't the major secret that Naruto and Orochimaru himself is trying to keep from everybody around. Because the thing is, Mitsuki has a weird ass sealing jutsu placed on his heart to where if anyone finds out about him, he's gonna automatically like self-destruct and Orochimaru's gonna have to start over. Now we understand that Mitsuki's a clone and there's like shit tons of more Mitsukis, right? But this Mitsuki currently has been the one that's able to have the most progress, even compared to the older Mitsuki, because he let the older Mitsuki get that big, but apparently that nigga is still doing whatever he's doing with Orochimaru in all of his research labs and shit like that. So this nigga Orochimaru originally planned for Mitsuki to have an independent mind, an independent soul, essentially creating a perfect human being where a person could just think for himself. He didn't give a fuck if that nigga turned out evil or bad or good or on some other. He just wanted that nigga to think for himself. He also understands the importance that he is in also because Naruto is in the process of preparing for a full-on OTSUSUKI war. And then side note, yes, 5th grade Shinobi War Momoshiki prophecies, that shit will be dropping. So be patient. Don't worry about that. I'm really excited to get that video to y'all. But yeah, this nigga Naruto's preparing for OTSUSUKI War. And one of the things he's doing is to prepare is to have Orochimaru do mad research, mad test subjects, and develop different technologies and equipments that'll help the Shinobi as an entire race to prepare for the potential threat and dangers that the OTSUSUKI pose to the fucking Shinobi world. And as a result, he has, I feel like even if Naruto would have never made the request, this nigga Orochimaru would have eventually made a Mitsuki. But as a result, he started fucking around and making all of these different synthetic creations and eventually making all of these different Mitsuki. So we know Mitsuki's existence itself is somehow related to the secret weapons or just the secret research connected to eventually defending against and taking down the OTSUSUKI clan, because that's the whole reason why Orochimaru is not in jail, and the whole reason why he's being constantly watched 24/7 by Yamato, because he's running these constant test experiments for the benefit of the fucking Hidden Leaf Village, as crazy as that shit seems. But yeah, this nigga Orochimaru, he's with that shit, bro. So this nigga Mitsuki essentially is like a secret weapon built against the OTSUSUKI clan. Now, I'm looking at his Sage Mode. I'm like, why does this dude Sage Mode look so fucking cold and sick, bro? He don't have no scales on his body or none of that shit. So that's understandable. Okay, then he's probably just got perfect Sage Mode. But if that's the case, why the fuck does he grow a horn? Now, the horn can be symbolized as like that one thing that, you know, shows you, oh, that nigga's in Snake Sage Mode. Kind of like how when we see Naruto enter Sage Mode, his eyes had that like it's orange face paint on his fucking eyelids or some shit like that, you know, versus Jiraiya, who has the same thing, but he got actual snake features. We see Kabuto, he grows a horn similar to how Mitsuki grows a horn, but his horns are way different. They look, first of all, they look more whack. They look corny as fuck, but he grows the horns on each side, but on top of the horns, he has the snake scale skin. So it's like saying, okay, maybe for the Snake Sage, the horn being grown out of one's head is like the initial fucking signifier to say, all right, that's Sage Mode. Just like how with Toad Sage, you got the eye face paint to signify that's fucking Toad Sage Mode, plus the, you know, the slit horizontal eyelid pupils. So jumping ahead, we understand that, all right, this nigga Mitsuki, on top of having all of these crazy ass synthetic abilities like stretching his arm and, you know, all of this crazy ass intelligence shit, he has a weird ass Sage Mode that we have not seen before. He grows a horn in the middle of his head. And the thing about Mitsuki's horn specifically is that I'm not shy to say, like, it looked like a type of horn that maybe an OTSUSUKI member could have. You feel me? Like, oh, some shit like, come on, let's be real, bro. He got a chakra crown, right? His eyes are golden, similar to how the OTSUSUKI clan members' eyes turn, or their Rinnegan's turn once they hit a transformation. This nigga Momoshiki ended up having golden eyes once he ate Kishiki. This nigga Urashiki ended up having golden eyes once he ate his Rinnegan. This nigga Mitsuki has base natural golden eyes. He enters into Sage Mode. His eyes are still golden, if I'm not mistaken, but you know, the pupils take a little bit of a different appearance. So all of the indications are there. His fucking pale ass white skin look like this nigga been on Twilight Zone. Fucking around, say hashtag Team Boruto. Like, that's the side Mitsuki's rocking with. We already know that. But like, this nigga's pale as fuck, like an OTSUSUKI clan member. Now, going into the actual OTSUSUKI clan, my nigga Urashiki pulled up. He saw Mitsuki whip out the Sage Mode and instantly was like, yeah, Noah, wow, yeah, fuck all that. Let me scoop that shit up right quick. And he was intrigued because he didn't completely recognize that chakra or that form of power. So that's the only justification that can say differentiate. But the mere fact that Urashiki's eye was immediately caught soon as like the shroud of Mitsuki's chakra began to form. He didn't even get to fully transform. His horn was still growing, but soon as this nigga Urashiki sensed that shit, he shut that shit down. He was like, nah. And I know y'all like to complain about this nigga Urashiki, how he was, he could have been better. He could have been better written out. But y'all just look at the way like he went about his business throughout the entire fucking Hidden Sand Village arc and then the time travel arc. He was fucking around the whole time, right? The one time we see this nigga Urashiki act off instinct as soon as he senses Mitsuki's Sage Chakra. So that's just automatically like, all right, there's more to this shit, bro. There's way more, because everybody already knows this nigga Orochimaru is alive in the Shinobi world. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that this nigga Naruto's the strongest nigga alive, and he got this nigga Orochimaru under 24/7 surveillance. So in a sense, they should be good with that. So having people find out if Mitsuki's Orochimaru's child isn't really what I feel like Orochimaru's trying to hide, rather than him being discovered as, like, obviously he can't use his Sage Mode in front of other people. Using his Sage Mode in front of other people isn't what triggers his curse, but ultimately them figuring out the secret behind Mitsuki's essence. So they can see his Sage Mode, but then the Sage Mode is going to start bringing up questions. And once the questions are brought up, that's when the curse activates and this nigga Mitsuki is going to self-destruct, right? So I feel like this nigga Orochimaru was trying to hide the fact. I don't know. My son Naruto punched the shit out of Kaguya, had some blood on his knuckles. This nigga Orochimaru sent the snake, did a little lick, brought that fucking shit back to the test lab. It's like, all right, bet. OTSUSUKI Chaka, say less, but they got for to pop out a couple of Mitsukis in the motherfucking heads, bro. You know, it's not too far-fetched of an idea to think something like that, but I really do, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, I do believe Mitsuki has some type of Otsutsuki-related chakra inside of this man's body. Despite him simply being a clone of Orochimaru, there was obviously a whole lot more genetics and DNA put into the creation of Mitsuki. But those are my overall thoughts, just based off of Mitsuki's Sage Mode and the appearance of him, and then just everything. Like, this nigga Orochimaru is weird like that, so it's not far-fetched to believe these type of things. But let me know what y'all think. What are y'all thoughts on Mitsuki as a character? When do y'all actually think his Sage Mode will become much more relevant in the story, rather than them just brushing it under the rug and saving it for some other point in time in the story? So until next video, it's your boy Black Uchiha 3. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment below all your thoughts on Mitsuki, all your thoughts on his Sage Mode. And until my next video, holla at your boy. I'ma holla at y'all. Black Uchiha out. Yes, sir.